Greetings, fellow non-biological fathers! Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And we're back with yet another Curb Your Enthusiasm recap podcast. We're barreling through to the final few episodes of the Swan Song season, baby. I'm not ready for it to end, but all good things must come to an end. And Dragon, I think this episode was a very good thing, man. I think this episode was, yet again, another top-tier Curb episode. Not sure how... I feel like there's one element to this episode where I feel like you could very much hate it, knowing your taste, but generally speaking, I gotta say, just the Freddy Funkhauser bits in this episode in particular. Vince Vaughn really killed it. Altogether, I thought this episode was super strong. Maybe the best of the season, I don't know, but, you know, comedy is one of the most subjective things there is, Dragon, so you could hate it for all I know. What do you think?
Yeah, I like this one. This is a great episode. Again, I think it's in good company with episode 5 this season.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
All right. So yeah, I guess let's just break it down. Let's get into it.
All right. So
oh, actually, you know what? One thing I will say this. Yet again, this week's episode very much is kind of hauntingly is one of those episodes that hauntingly captures the thing about Curb, where we're all a little bit. There's always a little bit of Larry David in each and every one of us, and this episode, it's almost wall to wall stuff that I've thought, like, it's scarily like, oh my god, I am Larry David. It's like
no, I feel that.
So like almost everything that happens to him in this episode is like, yeah, I've relayed all these things.
God. All right, so getting into it, just the 3 a.m. phone call to someone that you barely know. I love Larry David's just baffled reaction to this phone call. He's not, like, what's so great about his reaction here is that I love how it's not that he's offended, he's more just baffled more than anything else.
I know, yeah. We've all. I think that's kind of a relatable thing right up front there. It's the whole, you get like the call or the message, like when you're really groggy in the wee hours of the morning, and you're kind of like, as you're trying to drift back to sleep, it's like, how am I going to process that?
So, dear Stu Dragon.
Yes, dear Stu.
Everyone's favorite character on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
God, yes, if everyone's. At least that text chain loves it. Okay, so this is Stu Grossbart. He
made too much pudding at 4 a.m, Dragon. He truly did lose control of his life.
Yeah, a little froggrass pudding. Yeah. Anyway, so Larry David, he gets this text in the 3 a.m. in the morning, and he now he's stuck on like the group text chain. He has no way out of it. I have like social contract essentially. He's like, well, I'm stuck on the stupid text chain.
So I'm sure that the text chain is something that you can relate to. I know I can relate to it.
Here's the thing. I don't have the. There's some patience, but there's some paranoia, but there's also like a degree of like, you know what, I'm not going to abide by this text chain. I'm you know, like, I love
the social etiquette of the text chain throughout this episode is very on point.
He was far more patient than I would have been with the text chain. I will say that much. Because here's the thing. In part, I think a few years ago, I would have lived with it. I would have just avoided it at every turn, like he ultimately did. But by the same token, I think I'm just kind of like a little over it, where it's like, you know what, I would just be the guy saying, I don't really belong in this section. I'm just gonna leave.
Right, yeah. I feel like I kind of be that way too, honestly.
Yep. All right, so we set up. So basically, Larry says we go again. We're going back to the golf club this season all the time. We're going.
You know what? I feel like that's pretty much just the show kind of like bringing it back to the roots. I think.
Yeah, I mean, Larry David does love golf, and it was always something that was factored in there. I mean, ever since Kramer
very golf-centric season.
Ever since Kramer played golf on Seinfeld, that's how they got the golf in there. It's
all right.
But
okay, Little Blue says, hey, Tiki, I did attend the stream about ranking the 2007 movies. I had it on my TV, but I fell asleep and didn't comment. I don't suppose we will see future retrospectives on 2007 films like Meet the Robinsons and Enchanted. Well, sir, you'll have to wait until 2027 for that. You know how this channel works. We do the anniversary retrospectives. But it's okay. Dragon, you must have thought that 2007 thing was just super self-indulgent, right?
Well, Tiki literally said it was self-indulgent, so yes. It was very self-indulgent of you. I mean, like, who do you think cares what 2007 Tiki has to say?
Peregrine.
Aside from
That's about it.
Peregrine's demented. He doesn't count. Peregrine has problems.
Anyways, Jesus. Anyway. Okay, what's next?
Okay, so again, they're in like the locker room of the Ocean View, and they're kind of like talking about this whole Stu Grossbard thing. How Larry he barely knows this guy at all. He knows him from Ocean View. That's the only way he knows this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so now he's stuck on the text chain. They also Jeff mentions that Susie wants to go to this textile convention because she's doing the Kafkatans.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, so this whole this textile convention she wants to go to. I forget where it is. Do you remember where the textile convention is?
Oh man, I not off the top of my head. No, I could.
Well, the point being, she wants to go wherever this convention is.
It sounds like it's somewhere. From what I remember, it's somewhere that's like very like North Carolina. That's it.
There you go. Anyway, so she wants to,
North Carolina, I think specifically.
Yeah. Anyway, so she wants to go there. It's very last minute, which means they got middle seats, which Jeff dreads. He dreads the middle seat on the plane.
I think it's fair to say we all dread the middle seat, right? I think that's
I mean it's a window or aisle. You know, it's like I'm usually I think probably window.
I'm usually aisle because aisle gives you a little bit more leg room on the actual side of the aisle. You can stretch that side of your leg out just a little bit.
You know what's weird? Here's the thing. I think I haven't been on a plane forever. I was much younger when I was on the plane, so in that sense, I was like very gun ho for the window because there's like that cushion of like.
I feel that. Yeah.
So there's a good cushion of like I don't have to deal with strangers or anything, but
the thing is, flying as an adult with a window seat. No, I do not do window seats anymore because I do not want to be in a situation where I have to go to the bathroom and my social anxiety is like, oh, I already went like an hour and a half ago.
Just monitor your water intake, man. It's just 2 hours.
Okay, first of all, a flight to Florida can be like up to 5 hours. So that's at least 2 bathroom breaks.
Well, yeah, I was thinking where I am geographically versus where you are geographically.
No.
Yeah, it's probably a lot longer.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
No, I'm flying cross country to go to Florida, sir.
All right. Well, still though, I mean, willpower, man. Come on.
Yeah.
just put on Endgame. That'll be the majority of the flight.
Oh God. Anyway,
you're there to watch OJ Made in America. Do something.
That actually sounds valid.
There you go. You're going to Florida anyway, you know.
Oh God. Yeah, that's a way to get me in the mood for a Florida trip.
Well, I mean, one, just the pun of OJ, but secondly,
oh, God.
We went to Florida where all the bad stuff happened, so karma. Anyway, so what was I got? Okay, the point being though, but again, ordinarily I'm an aisle guy. I think just there were a lot of like in school I was very much like I was always sitting on the aisle because I want to get out of there as fast as I can. Like I am very pro aisle. In adulthood, I'm very pro aisle. Anywho, point being, so Jeff, it sounds like even later on, I think the implication is that it was so booked up that they couldn't get seats together. So like Jeff's in the middle and she's probably somewhere else in the middle or something. Mm-hmm. So Jeff doesn't want to go. Larry David suggests a surefire solution. Now, importantly, Freddy Funkhauser is in the scene, so he's overhearing this solution.
Freddy will remember this.
He will. So the Telltale Fredster here, he hears the dream scheme. Tiki, tell the kids what the dream scheme is.
So essentially, when you are quote unquote sleeping, what you want to do is you want to have a quote unquote nightmare, a very verbal nightmare, where you express all the shit that you do not want to do, that you want to get out of.
Yep. And hopefully it will garner sympathy from whoever is overhearing it, and they will cut you a break.
And I got to tell you, Dragon, we'll get into it more with the actual scene, but like at first, when I first heard about this, I was like, "There's no way that Susie Green, of all people, is gonna go for this shit." And I was pleasantly surprised. Jeff
has to be. I mean, Jeff Garlin is a very convincing actor. Tiki.
He is.
So I love also they rehearse it too, which is pretty funny. All right. So let's see. Anyway, we also we set up two other things here. One, Freddy, he's trying to bring back the flask. You know, he's trying to make it look all. He's trying to bring back the gentleman's alcoholic.
Yes.
By the way, there's only one person that has ever pulled off the flask look and brought it back and made it look good. Actually, that's Tom Ellis on Lucifer. He's the only one who made that flask gesture look good because he's in like a really nicely cut suit, and he pulls out the flask, and again he's drinking at crime scenes, but he's the devil, so he can get away with it. So it's the only way it works. You have to be Satan and wearing a really nice suit. That's the only way that works.
Oh man.
Otherwise, it's just like, oh man, look at what a drunk. Right. So the other thing too. So Larry David, as we kind of will transition here to this, Larry David is dating a very lovely young woman. He's dating Renee the artist.
Yeah, I think she's a standout guest star. I think I really like their chemistry.
She's great. I think it's like Essence Atkins or something. I think it's her name. But yeah, she's great in this. I would love if she came back. Honestly, I thought she had a lot of great presence. She's got great chemistry with.
I wouldn't be surprised if she came back. I feel like this season has kind of been sort of revolving around Larry's dating life, and I feel like she's a keeper.
Yeah, so this makes sense on two things. Like one, it seems like she has kind of a thing for Jewish comedians because she's a painter who's been painting a series of for this exhibit at a museum called the Weisenheimers series of paintings. Weisenheimers being basically kind of like the Jewish wise guy comedians, which includes some familiar faces that we see at the end. Mm-hmm. And the other thing, too, is that probably a little impressed by the gesture, in quotes, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? Larry David's got game. He's just remarkably got game with the ladies here, especially like on this date. He's charming the heck out of her. Also, I like that she's not like a younger woman. She's not like she's.
I would say she's like probably in her late 30s.
I know what her age. I'm trying to think of the previous girl Larry David was with, the actress. No, sorry. I keep going to the different. I keep going to the wrong name. I know it's not so.
Sienna Miller.
See, I was going to like Sophia Loren, but I know it's not Sophia Loren. Sienna Miller, yes. Because Sophia Loren seems more Larry David's contemporary than Sienna Miller. That's why I'm going.
She does, yeah.
No, but Sienna Miller's absolutely saying she's no Sienna Miller in terms of like age, like an age difference. Here, I believe she's like 50, 52, which again, she looks wonderful for her age. And I think actually a very.
She actually looks really good for her age.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I said, I would have guessed like late 30s. Yeah.
I know, that's what I'm saying. She looks great, and she's very appropriate for him for a change.
right.
But that's the thing. So you have this beautiful, still comparatively younger woman.
Dare I say, if anything, Irma, just at least in spirit, was too old for him.
Yeah, no, exactly. But also, you know what?
It's just funny to say that someone is too old for Larry David, but
you want to hear something really funny?
What?
So I was rewatching because since his passing, I rewatched Robin Hood Men in Tights. And Tracy Ullman's in that movie.
Oh, you know what?
Thank
you for reminding me. I do need to rewatch that.
See, she's so caked in makeup. I didn't realize it back then, but I realized, oh my God, that's her. It's Irma Kostrowski.
Actually, not rewatch it. I just need to watch it. Just straight watch it in general. So thank you for reminding me. That'll be one thing on my catch up this month.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so the whole. Let's talk about the key lime pie, the key scene of the whole episode, the key lime pie.
I mean, here's the thing. I feel like this episode is kind of an embarrassment of riches. It's a great scene, but I feel like it almost kind of gets lost in the shuffle with everything else.
Okay, so this whole thing too, I've had a little bit of this paranoia in life. The whole like returning the food item, but like the
Oh,
question
I
of
never do it. I never do. I don't care how fucking bad the food is, Dragon. I have the opposite problem of Larry David, where I am just overly polite about this
I've
kind of
always
stuff.
dreaded something like this happening that Larry David goes through the whole thing of like if you take a certain amount of bites, then it's like
Which
it's like well,
honestly, I'm on Larry's side when it
oh
comes to
yeah,
this particular argument,
no,
because
absolutely,
I do think it's bullshit. The whole like, yeah, it's like they clearly laid out the
yeah,
economics of how
yeah.
many bites that they took. It
And the
makes
whole thought processes of like, okay, so
right,
she took a
right.
bite, didn't like it. She wanted to make sure she wasn't crazy or something. Took another bite. Then the other person takes a bite, basically the same size. Essentially, she got in 2 bites, just in one, just to confirm, like, yeah, this is actually bad. We shouldn't
I
have to
mean,
pay
that
for
checks
it.
out to me. I don't know about you.
I know I'm in full agreement with them, and this I guess this manager is utterly ridiculous, not offering them a refund. Even the waitress says, "Oh yeah, we'll get you a refund for that."
Yeah, the waitress is. It was like no questions asked, basically.
Yeah, well, but she did kind of say she thought they were enjoying it. They were very clearly these are people not enjoying this. Look at the grimaces on their face. But still, though, I mean, she okay, sure, we'll take it off the bill for you. Anyway, so we have this. Here's what kind of bothers me about the episode. Um, we don't pay off the chef gag. It feels like we're lacking a chef payoff, where they built up how terrifying this chef is.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't kill the
I will
episode, but
admit that I
no.
love the whole. I love them kind of like building up, like, go get the chef, get the chef. And I was kind of like in the back of my mind, like, ooh, is it going to be some guest star? Are they going to bring out like Jeremy Allen White from The Bear or something? That'd be amazing. But
Is he that scary in the show though?
yes.
Okay, I didn't know. I haven't watched it yet. So okay.
I mean, he can be. He can be.
Okay.
He's an intense character. He can also be a fucking teddy bear. That's the great thing about the show.
Okay.
Anyways. But
Anyway,
yeah, I was kind of disappointed that they just kind of like ended it, like they got out of there before the going got tough, essentially. Which honestly isn't really Larry David's style.
that's
Like
true.
it seemed low key a little bit out of character for Larry David to not want to confront the chef, honestly.
But I do love this. I do love the whole thing of like just him basically out of spite almost. Well, we're gonna have sex.
And I also love him just leaving all the money just on the table. Like it's not like they're gonna dine and dash. He's gonna pay for the meal.
Well, yeah, he's got Seinfeld money. It'd be really insulting if he left.
Right.
He's got FU Seinfeld money.
Okay, so yes, they do indeed go back and have sex.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I guess what I'm talking about, man. Like Larry David, he's leaving the woman satisfied. It's pretty impressive. I don't know.
Indeed.
So it's the morning after. They had a good time, and they're getting ready for round 2. And Larry David visits downtown, as they put it in the episode. I'm just gonna say it. Downtown. I'm in conjunction there with Larry David. It's a nice place to visit.
Yeah, I don't mind.
It's a very nice place to visit.
Very limited experience I've had.
Yeah. Anyway, so in doing so, he ends up traumatizing Dalia, the housekeeper.
So I think that this Dalia thing. Here's the thing, Dragon. I feel like it is the element of the episode that I feel like if anything was going to break the episode for you, I think it would have been this.
Well, how so?
I don't know, just because I feel like it just doesn't really jive with your sense of humor.
Well, I mean, what part of it, Tiki? That's what I'm asking.
It's a little bit too risque. I don't know.
No. Well, here's the thing. Remember the Christmas episode? The whole like Larry David, for like Christmas, or not a birthday, but for Christmas, leading up to it, he had the pubic hair in his throat.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Because he did this. So I mean, it's been
true.
set up. Like he doesn't do it often, probably because of that holiday encounter. But
you always knock. You always knock.
I love that she's. I love that Renee is the one who's really making the fine point of she should knock.
Yeah,
I don't say like she seems to be a good match. Like she's
so
getting
as the episode goes on, I'm sure it'll be a fun discussion about how much is this woman milking the trauma, quote unquote.
That's what I'm saying. Like to be fair, like again, look, the initial there's an initial.
I feel like the initial reaction is perfectly justified. You would be a little bit shaken up after that.
However,
after the initial like first day that it happened, I'm like, dude, come on. come on. It's two adult people. Like, get over yourself.
I mean, you walked in without knocking. I mean, you
Right,
didn't really make it. If they didn't know you were there that day, because they thought you was your day off or no, I mean, you don't say hi to anyone. You don't just like go in. Like when you enter someone's house, you don't make it known that you're there.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so all that's that a lot of honestly, a lot of this is on Dalia, and even when for what she did see, at least the way it was framed in the episode, again, like he's in the way. I don't know. But again,
right,
I don't know how much it's just we're sparing the audience on that one. I don't know. But still, it's just I'll give you the initial shock, but everything else that follows this Dalia is full of crap. She's just she's spouting BS, like this whole trauma.
I also love how this is almost kind of like a callback to the housekeeper from the first episode of the season.
Yep. That's what I'm saying, Larry, David, and the housekeepers.
Yep.
And he's always had trouble with the housekeepers too, by the way, like in the past and like other seasons. I think even the Christmas episode, I think I forget if it was the Christmas episode.
I do think the Christmas episode did have a housekeeper in it. Yeah, he had problems with.
It was Christmas or Halloween. I think it was because we talked about those two. I think it was things like because we had like the housekeeper he was trying to do something nice for her, and just like she was like bad mouthing him to the staff. Anyway, let's see. So again, no knock, just no knock at all. Now, admittedly, Larry David did a horrible job in talking with her afterwards. Just saying, what happens, you should have knocked, but we're just going to move on. That's what he should have said. Instead, he was very much getting the semantics of, I don't often do that, but, it's like, sometimes you hold a door open for a lady, you hold a chair open for a lady, and,
Yeah, it's not
funny.
Great.
It's not helping, but it's funny. So now this is even better, okay? Larry, I love the rapport that Larry has with Renee, but by the same token, though, the rapport that Larry David has with Leon,
oh my god, is just
like,
fucking.
The moment he shows up, what's going on? Incident, just him saying incident being enough. Just like, and they go on, they spilled the tea, as the kids would.
Dragon, Renee is a great lover, but Leon is someone that Larry should marry.
That is true. No, unequivocally, that's really, he's probably married to Leon already. I mean, this is why Irma never had a chance, He's married to that Leon.
Oh my god, I love Leon so much.
No, absolutely. I mean, Larry David, think about it. We're getting to the point almost, or at least in the show, he's been with Leon almost as long as he's been with Cheryl. Actually, longer. Think about this. He's been with Cheryl definitely through the first 5 seasons.
Season 6 was really when they were. I don't remember. I don't think they. No, they did officially break up.
At the end of 6. At the end of 6, they break up. So think about this. He's been with Cheryl as long. He's been with Cheryl as long as he's been with Leon. Literally at the halfway point of the show.
Oh man, that's
6 seasons, and then the other 6 is Leon. So he remarried Leon, essentially, which is priceless.
All right.
Anyway, so they're talking, and the whole thing about like, you're uptown guys. It's like, no, I like to visit. I am an uptown guy.
You do a TED talk about that shit.
I had a really stupid thought when I was watching this. Is given the fact that it would technically be a Seinfeld reference. They would never do this in Curb because Curb's too realistic to do something like this. There's a whole gag in Seinfeld where George Costanza was trying. Basically, he was worried that his boss always told him, like, I always have to repeat instructions to you. So he's basically in the bathroom with them. He's not in the bathroom. But he says, like, okay, listen, I'm going to tell you what your assignment is. And he goes in the bathroom. George is waiting outside, and the guy comes out. So you got it? Is it like he was telling him in the bathroom the whole time what his assignment was? But George didn't hear any of this. So basically, George is like looking for any clue as to what the heck this assignment is. And he means, George, it's just like the song. You got to go downtown. So then he and Jerry are trying to figure out what downtown means. So they're basically analyzing the lyrics of the Petula Clark song Downtown, and so then they play it. So part of me's wondering, like, man, if you had a montage during a love scene of Downtown playing, that'd be hysterical.
I know, right?
Good.
Lost
Anyway,
used that song in a very, very, very memorable way. I will say that.
Okay, my favorite Leonism in this whole scene was Leon saying, like, "Oh yeah, I can give a whole TED talk on Downtown." Love that. That's great. Okay, so Jeff from the Dream Scheme.
Yeah, it goes off without a hitch. He basically goes exactly according to plan, and Susie is very concerned with him and just says immediately, like, "No, you're not going. You're not going on that flight if you're that concerned about it just in your sleep."
I love seeing like happy Jeff. Just lays the Jeff's always been, if Jeff can get through life with like losing like a step of just like having to do something less and do like just less things to do these mundane tasks, like he's a happy man. So him falling asleep with this big old satisfied smile on his face. Yes, Jeff Green has won.
All right. Also, we kind of glazed over. Larry got a phone call. This woman, I forget her name. I think Lori. Maybe
no, it's not Lori. It's I think it begins with it's a G or something. It's like
it's Stu's wife. Let's call her Dee Dee.
All right, well, I think it's like G.
Like I'd rather not.
Anyway, because I think I might have it written down here. Just give me a second here. Good. Sorry, I guess I just. It's Gina. It's Mrs. Grossbard. All right, it's Mrs. Grossbard. Maybe it's Gina Grossbard. Just something Grossbard. I mean, the Mrs. here. The point being, the whole Grossbard family. They're crazy. They're crazy as a bag of cats, man.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah.
So the Mrs. here, she's blaming Susie for the stroke because she brought like foie gras. I don't even know what that is, honestly. It's just fancy, it's like fancy rich food. I know you always hear it like in like kind of these big society settings, so it's like some sort of fancy thing that Susie made. And okay, so this is the moment where episode really I had like do a double take. Oh my god, they pulled something directly from my life on this one. I was some friends of my grandfather. We used to go there frequently, and they mentioned once that basically it's like a friend of a friend sort of thing. Their kid's school, there's like another girl there who identified as a cat.
This is a very real thing that happens in this new generation of strange children.
Have you heard directly the cat thing, or
yes,
is this?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Yeah, so I heard. I guess
it's actually more normal than you might think. Believe it or not.
Why is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, and it sounds horrifying when I heard it described to me, because basically the kids like actually Larry did jokes about it here, but again, like the kids actually bring like a litter box.
Oh no,
it's that bad. That's what I'm saying.
How can the school possibly let that fly?
This is I think it's a younger kid too, like younger than 11. But that's the point, though. It's just the fact that it's a little girl, like identifying.
I mean, at the very least, I would really, really hope that she's not actually like openly using that litter box.
I would like to think so. I think if I remember, I think it's just the idea she's going to the bathroom, she's bringing that box, which, I mean, I would hope that's the case of this ridiculous situation.
That's still bad, though. That's still really fucking bad.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and like the whole point of the whole conversation, there's a bunch of old folks, mind you, that's essentially, that's almost child abuse to some degree, to a degree of like, not child abuse, but it's like a mental kind of thing. Where, like, we're letting the kid call all the shots and we're afraid to tell her no, and this is what happens. You get a cat kid.
No, I mean, you know what? I really don't want to get political about this, but like,
maybe look, it's not even political. It's like sticking
within kind of stuff.
But it's sticking within your own species, though. That's what I think. I think it's a reasonable.
No, I know. Like a boy wanting to be a girl is like a completely different thing entirely.
It's a whole different conversation. But it's like okay, like there's a practical like societal like animal
right
thing going on there. Unless you're like an actual wolf man, you can't really pick and choose like that.
If only.
It's like an actually like unless it's like a Batman Beyond splicing thing, you can't really the conversation doesn't happen.
Oh man.
We're not there yet.
Okay, now I'm just thinking about how the furry crowd would work in the Batman Beyond universe. Dragon.
I mean, we've kind of seen it with Wolf. I mean, that's the thing, with the hyena boy. We kind of that's what I'm saying. You have a little bit of splicing. It does. If they did re-examine Batman Beyond, or at least brought the splicing into the comics more, they would probably explore that.
Most likely, yes.
Anyway.
I could see that being in a fucking Zack Snyder Batman Beyond movie.
Anyway.
And Terry McGinnis would just be a fucking serial killer.
Don't give him ideas, Tiki. Okay, we need a Batman Beyond movie, but we don't need a Zack Snyder Batman Beyond movie. Okay, that's the difference.
And Bruce Wayne just sees Terry McGinnis, the fucking teenage serial killer, and is like, I like this kid. He reminds me of myself, the Batman, the man who kills. Anyway. Enough dogging on Snyder. I'm sorry.
Yes, Terry, I want you to get in the Batmobile. I want you to drive through all the criminals. drive through them all, okay?
Oh my god!
Light a few on fire too. I know Keaton did it, but still, just like it doesn't count. That doesn't count.
By the way, that was on the Joe Rogan podcast of all fucking things. Was that whole thing about him going on about Batman killing people?
Do you mean in the Snyder stuff, or just mean like the whole Keaton?
No, I mean when I told you recently, like, hey, did you hear what Snyder's been running his mouth
about?
That
was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, that was on the Joe Rogan podcast, apparently. I didn't listen to it on the Joe Rogan, but I just heard that Snyder was running his mouth about that shit.
Anyway, so the point being this whole cat. So basically, Ghostbard, in case things take a turn for the worse with Stu, they want Larry to keep an eye on their 11-year-old daughter who identifies as a cat.
Yes.
Which is just...
He gets the violin and I'm stuck with Catwoman?
Yep.
That was like the line of the episode for me.
It was great. Fun fact, Larry David has worked with Michael Keaton before.
Really?
In a movie, yeah. Larry David, he did 2 movies. To be fair, Larry done more than 2 movies. I'm saying Larry David, I forget if he directed...
the Three Stooges Dragon. I played a nun.
Yes. Fair. So here's the thing. Larry David, he infamously... I never looked... I kind of now want to look into this movie because it's been talked about a lot on the Curb podcast. See, between Seinfeld and Curb, he did a movie that didn't do well called Sour Grapes. I never seen that movie.
Oh, I know exactly what that is. It actually is referenced a few times in, I think, the first season. And I want to look into it. It actually sounds really interesting. It's about 2 best friends who go to, I don't know, I think it's Vegas. It might just be a random gambling town. And they hit a jackpot. And the whole movie is them trying to figure out how to split it.
Okay.
I really want to look into that movie.
So that's what I'm saying. So there's that. That was the big one they did. I don't know if he's in that movie. I just heard the title and that he did it. It sounds like you might know.
Yeah, I think it was written by him, yeah.
Okay, that's the thing. So
he might have directed it. I'm not sure.
So the other big movie that he did was very much, I don't know if he directed it or not, but it was basically a Larry David starred movie. It's called Clear History. It's pretty good. John, that's how we met John Hamm. I told you this when that Curb season happened. That's how we got John Hamm in the season of Curb, because he was one of his co-stars in that movie.
Right.
And Keaton's in that movie as well. So it's like him, Keaton, and John Hamm, and there are a few others. But yeah.
Nice.
But that one's good. Also, J.B. Smoove has a small but pivotal role in that film.
Nice.
Anyway, okay, so circling back here, they're trying to pawn the kid off to him. Something bad happens where he really just wants to sell the expensive antique violin, which Funkhauser has gotten. And in real life, just so you know, I don't know if we've ever talked about this, Larry does have a daughter in real life.
Okay, I don't think we've ever brought it up, and I'm pretty sure I actually knew that.
Yeah, he's got a daughter, but obviously in Curb, they never really, did that. They never really incorporated her. Like, she doesn't exist in the fictionalized version of Larry David in the show, but yeah. So it's kind of interesting. So I wonder if there's like maybe a hair of like a meta thing of just like Larry David like being very self-effacing. I'm probably a terrible father. It's just like everything he's saying about himself is probably like, yeah, she's probably thought this.
I mean, everything we know about the character of Larry David on the show checks out with that.
Yeah, I mean, Larry David is divorced in real life, but again, I don't know how much of that has to do with, his home life. I don't know.
I mean, low-key, Larry David, like, he kind of has, like, the ultimate, like, I hate kids, don't bring your kids around me energy.
Well, absolutely, yeah. He exudes that for sure, yeah. Okay. So the 11-year-old cat girl shows up and like she basically, now this thing I related to so hard. She yanks the hoodie, like the string of his sweatshirt hoodie thing, like right out completely. So the aftermath is the thing I can relate with. Now I've never had this, but I've always dreaded this, and I do battle this with pants sometimes, like my lounging shorts, or it'd be like. oh no, it's like the washing machine is like stretched out the string. It's like, oh, I gotta get the string back in. Like, it's like the impossible task of getting the string back in the hoodie or back in the elastic. It's like my dread. So like seeing that, I was like, oh my god, the show has read my mind.
Right.
It's like, God, this is like all my mundane existential angst is on the screen right now. Just so much relatability for Larry David. Anyway, so he's like licking the string, and it in quotes re-traumatizes the whiny crybaby housekeeper lady.
Oh man, I will admit, you know, I kind of feel like with the housekeeper, every time we see her, it gets a little less forgivable how effective
Yeah, that's
she
the
is.
thing. Progressively, okay, at least I can see.
So I feel like in this situation, at least it is still like bad timing, and he is doing something that could be interpreted as very sexual. You know,
Yeah,
it's still an overreaction, but you can understand why she would at least react to it at all. You know what I mean?
yep.
Yep. And he's asking, like, yeah, you know any housekeeper tricks for this? No housekeeper tricks.
Good. All right, let's see.
Oh god, and then Leon is not helping. He's like, you know, there's people that go from the top and people who do it from the bottom.
Yep.
It's almost as if you're unwiping your ass.
Okay, well, so that whole thing, that's about the toilet paper, though.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm sorry.
However, I will say this. I've had the same exact thing where, again, it bothers me so much when it's like going from the bottom. Okay, it has to be, you roll it from the, they hit it right on the head. I deal with this so much. It's ridiculous. Just like, yes, it's supposed to roll down from the top.
Uh-huh.
What about you? What's your preference?
I don't really think about it.
Oh, come on. That is complete. Come on. You have a preference. Don't try and kid yourself.
I don't know.
Are you really that neutral on the toilet
paper?
Yeah,
I'm not neutral on it, yeah. I care more about the brand of the toilet paper. If the toilet paper just is drawing it, as long as it's not that crappy, like instantly breakable toilet paper.
I know, I hate that too.
You find it like a school bathroom or like a movie theater or something.
Like Scott. I hate Scott, but I love Sherman. Okay,
as long as it's not something like that, I don't give a flying fuck which direction it's coming from.
It's gotta be
honest with you.
It's gotta be the comfy bears, man. It's gotta be Sherman. It's Sherman or nothing, okay? Never Scott.
Dude, there is so much fucking lore with those bears.
Really? Is there that much lore with the bears?
I feel like someone could make a really deep lore video with the bears if they really wanted to. I feel like it's a rabbit hole.
Okay, here's the better thing for lore, okay? We gotta franchise these bears.
Oh my god.
All the bears, man. All the bears. Think about all the bear stuff.
John Goodman is the father bear.
What?
John Goodman is the father bear.
You maybe not franchise it like that, but yeah. But you see what I mean, though, is the fact that you have like the Coca-Cola polar bears, you have the Sherman bears. You know, you have then if you want to get into the pop cultural bears, we have like a plethora of them. You know, like you got Corduroy, you got you got Fozzie Bear, you got
Paddington.
That's you got Paddington. That's what I'm saying. A number of the Berenstain Bears.
All right. Anyways,
Winnie the Pooh. It's a whole bunch. Now, there's a crossover for you. Winnie the Pooh crossing over with the Sherman Bears. Now tell me you don't want to see that.
I don't want to think about Winnie the Pooh wiping his ass.
I was saying with the name, man.
That's the thing.
You know, that's a golden age Family Guy joke. Again, had Family Guy not given up entirely, that would have actually been really clever.
I mean, we literally just did the thing that South Park describes the Family Guy writers of, where we just push two concepts together, and it's like, yeah, that's a joke. Sherman Bears and Winnie the Pooh. There we go.
Leave Trey and Matt out of this.
God, anyways.
Let him play basketball or whatever. Let's
come on. Oh, okay. First of all, my friend. Between South Park, Family Guy, and The Simpsons, which show is still consistently pumping out quality content? I don't care if South Park isn't your thing. I get that you don't like the art style. They're still pumping out quality content, Dragon. Anyways,
sounds more like quantity, but I don't know.
No. I mean, here's the thing. Okay, oh god, we're gonna go off on a brief South Park tangent really quick. Here's the thing: South Park, they lowered their episode count per season from 10 episodes to 6 episodes, and because of that, I feel like the quantity is lower, but the quality is higher. All right, anyways, I don't want to totally just derail this into something.
Okay, cardboard cutouts aside. Okay, so again, gross bards are crazy. They want Larry David to watch the kid. Dalia so Dalia has all this BS trauma here. She's milking it so she doesn't have to do her job.
The whole trauma thing is definitely where it's like, okay, come on, this is like it's an awkward situation at best. There is no trauma involved here, buddy.
Yeah. So, like she's like the whole towel thing, or Larry's like in the bathrobe and everything. It's like, where's the towels? I can't because I keep thinking of, it's like, well, okay, what if we got new towels? Like, no, still.
No, this is ridiculous. This is fun. This is.
Well, when you go home, are you using towels? Yes, but
this genuinely fire this woman at this point, Dragon. Seriously, this is absolutely ridiculous.
Unequivocally, he basically puts her in her place later, and she tried. The last straw is her using his move with the dream scheme. Right. No, it's like okay, that's I invented the dream scheme. Right? Like, no, you're gonna show up and do your job, otherwise you're out.
Oh man,
which is very fair. Like Larry's not being mean or harsh at all here. Okay, I think he could have had a more genuine apology earlier, but it's again she could have not. So it's really all on her, honestly. Okay, so meanwhile, so I guess just to backtrack a little bit. So Larry, to get out of this whole gross board thing, he shows up at the hospital.
Well, hold on. Are we jumping over the Susie scene with the dog?
Well, I was going to mention earlier we kind of jumped around a bit. But yeah, let's talk about the dog.
Yeah, I just don't want to pass it up just because.
No, we're not going to forget the dog.
For one thing, I just love the anti-coyote outfit on the dog.
I know,
That's
it's
the main
great.
thing I want to bring up. It's
a great
awesome.
visual gag. It's the idea.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that does look kind of coyote-proof. It's going to impale itself, so yeah.
Also, Susie Green, sometimes her outfits are questionable, but I gotta say, I love this look on her. I really do. I think the yellow and the hat, I think it looks really good. I don't know. Just
no, it's
and I point that out. She is a fashionista after all. Anyways. All right, so let's see. We get that scene basically just to establish that the dream scheme worked for Jeff.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, let's go to the hospital.
Yes, we go to the hospital.
Also, we should bring up the whole thing about how Susie thinks that Stu's wife. I already fucking forgot her name. I'm sorry.
I think it's Gina or something very close to Gina.
All right, that she's been trying to fatten her up, so they basically think that they're trying to fatten each other up, which is really funny and petty.
Yeah.
She keeps coming over here, bringing all these French patisseries. Which, by the way, Dragon, when I go to Vegas, I am specifically staying at Paris, so I am looking forward to my French patisseries, man.
Are you gonna do a buffet while you're there?
I would like to, but there are not a lot of buffets post-COVID.
Wait, really?
The buffet business in Vegas is significantly slimmed down post-COVID, yes.
Well, then there's like more bacon for you, buddy.
No. Look, if I have the opportunity, I would love to do a buffet, but I just don't know if I'll have the opportunity. Anyway.
Get all that bacon, man. You can do it.
Oh, God. All right, moving on.
Okay, so Larry visits gross part of the hospital. I love how genuine and sincere he is. Like, look, I just want to be without any modesty. I really am wrong for this job. It's just, no, Larry, you're good for the job. You can do it.
You're the man for the job, Larry.
So I get the gross part.
I do like his logic here. I like basically what's he say? Like, she's curious, and then what is he?
I think it's the idea he's gonna pop the balloon. Like, he's curious. You're I don't know, stubborn or something. Like you're gonna challenge her on things, maybe.
Right, yeah. And it's like, you know what? On some level, I kind of understand that logic, but no. Like Larry David's literally pointing out, like, she pulled the string out from my sweatshirt, and all I could think was I wanted to yell at her, "You fuck!"
Tiki and me, you would do the same exactly.
Oh yeah, probably. You fuck.
Just imagine you say, "See, now I'm gonna have to buy a whole new sweatshirt. It's not in the budget. You ruined it. You know."
Oh God.
Just
She's
yelling.
curious. You're passionate. That's the line. That's the line.
Yes, that is the line. All right. He's not wrong.
And then, oh God, Dragon, this whole thing, this whole running gag, it might be the most uncomfortable running gag in the episode, but the whole thing, it's like, Freddy Funkhauser, he loves little girls, not in a bad way. And they're both just trying to paint the picture of how good they would be with this girl, but not in a creepy way.
Yep. It's very funny.
All right.
So basically, Larry he had a good plan B going here, where he pulls out a flask.
I think this is actually a little bit more convincing than the dream scheme in a hospital setting.
No,
frankly, I do not buy that Freddy Funkhauser. I do not buy that this guy would buy Freddy Funkhauser just instantly falling asleep to the point of sleep talking. You know what I mean?
No, I'm fully with you. Honestly, to me, that is the low point of the episode. Where I don't. That's the only gag I can't buy at all there.
Right. I feel that. Yeah,
it's a stretch. I mean, like, I get what he's going for you, but no, you can't do it in record 5 seconds. It's not
exactly.
Plays. So that's a cheap joke. But anyway, so initially,
Larry pulls out the flask. Yeah, I take a nip here, I take a nip there. Nip away at it, and then hopefully I won't have to drink again tonight. I love that line. That line is like a true alcoholic's line.
It'd be great. Like, this is out of context, like Larry David's audition for the live action, Rick.
Oh my God! Oh shit!
Oh, yeah, I hear you lost the other guy. Here is
You know what? Everyone thinks that Christopher Lloyd should be the live action Rick. Larry fucking David would be an amazing live action Rick, dude. Oh my God, that is such a great pool. Morty! I turned myself into a pickle, Morty!
Oh, Morty, I'm a pickle!
Turn around, Morty! The reveal's gonna be huge! Alright. Please. God.
I'm a pretty convincing pickle. Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna fucking Google Larry David Rick Sanchez and see if there's anyone who's photoshopped that.
God. Anyway. So Funkhauser, he confronts him, and now Vince Vaughn.
No, there's pictures of Larry David, like photo comparisons of him, but no actual Photoshop jobs.
Anyways, maybe one day. Maybe for Halloween. Who knows?
Oh God.
No. Vince Vaughn, he does an excellent job here where he shows up at the house and he has a rant that's, oh God, it's like
Vince Vaughn in this scene. I don't think I've seen all of his episodes of Curb, but I think this scene he is like the spinning fucking image of Bob Einstein in the scene, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. There's a lot of Einstein in there.
I feel like he has all the energy of when Funkhauser confronts Larry about the Ida Funkhauser memorial bypass. He has all the energy of that sort of upset.
Yep.
I don't know. It's great. It's perfect, I think.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I would like to think, even though how we end this episode, maybe there is a bit of a tribute to Funkhauser in our last season. There maybe a little bit we're gonna get Freddy Funkhauser, a big moment there is very indicative of the famous, Marty Funkhauser rants. I don't know.
You know what's funny too is that this confrontation was so genuinely intense, even though it is funny.
Mm-hmm.
That they resolved their differences by the end of the episode. But since we are kind of building a running thing in this season of Larry David potentially pissing off more and more people and it coming back to bite him, I thought there was a chance that Freddy Funkhauser would just become the new Mocha Joe or something for the rest of the season. I thought there was a chance of them doing that.
Nah, I didn't think that because there's something so small. Just he's gonna be stuck with the girl. Clearly, he's not gonna be actually stuck with the girl, so he'll be fine.
First of all, can we acknowledge how ridiculous that request is in general?
Well, yeah, but again, they're not saying raise the girl, they're saying keep an eye on the girl, which again, in quotes, is like, well, she's gonna need a male role model, so be the insert yourself as the male role model.
I mean, honestly, if I was the mother, I'd be a little bit insulted.
Yeah.
I mean, low key, like what? You don't think I'm going to do a good enough job?
Well, she's a crazy woman.
You don't think I can stay up until 4 a.m. making pudding stew?
Yeah, this lady clearly is not in her right state of mind.
I'm making cat milk at 4 a.m. I've lost control of my life.
Yeah. So, well, she's nuts, though. I think that's why.
Right, yeah.
Because again, this family, they're very much like, it's what he wanted. It's what he wanted. It's what the text says. Anyway, so Vince Vaughn in this whole this rant about how you effed me, man.
No, he's great. He's on fire here. He really is.
But he does have a good point. Well, you're good with kids. Like what? I'm effing Mary Poppins.
You're an affable fellow.
So I love this very pleasant argument in terms of complimenting each other. Clearly, Funkhauser's full of it because Larry, I think he's actually right. Go like, I'm not any of these things. You're out of your mind.
I tell people, you're honest, you're trustworthy. I'm not saying those things anymore.
That's great. All right, so after this, Larry David bumps into Grossbard's son. Grossbard's son.
No, I'm pretty sure is it his son or his brother? I'm pretty sure it's his brother.
I could be. I don't know.
Because he said the niece. He mentioned a niece.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It might be his nephew, not his son.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, something. Anyway,
so do we know this guy from anything Dragon? Because I got to admit, he kind of felt familiar.
I gotta be honest. I looked into the Renee. I didn't look into him, so I don't know.
Okay, but I think this guy is seriously kind of a one-scene wonder. I really think this guy makes a good impression in the brief screen time he gets.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, so Larry David, he basically calls out the absurdity of the text chain. I agree with him 100%. You know, I'm very much like hashtag vote Larry David on this sort right here.
I love how he sees the opportunity and he takes it. The guy's like, "You think you're too good for the chain, Larry?" And he's like, "You know what? Yeah, I am too good for the chain."
The positive affirmation. I am too good for this text chain. And just calling out the ridiculousness. I just love these. Like he has him boxed in a corner here, where it's like, so what are you gonna say? He's like some flowery, stupid prayer that's not gonna help anyone. You know, just like some basically some Cracker Jack box bit of wisdom. That's all you're gonna do is that, and they're gonna throw an emoji out there. That's all you're gonna do in this text chain. That's literally all the text chain is, and we see this.
That is such a fucking great touch that we see the whole text chain at the end of the episode.
But aren't these sort of text chains just like painfully uncomfortable?
It's meaningless. It's meaningless.
It's
literally all it is. All it is just empty platitudes, Dragon. Empty fucking platitudes.
Or it's like, yes, it's an unfortunate situation. You want to be there for everyone, but if we're just going to be nothing,
it's like a good karma circle jerk.
Yeah, exactly. Just all standing in a circle. Well, that would be a different way that Guardians of the Galaxy scene would have gone.
That's the porn parody of Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was going to say The Boys, but thanks for that. Yes, essentially what that is.
We're just a couple of assholes standing in a circle jerking each other.
Then Gamora saying, I don't even know what Cheers is.
Oh my god. God damn.
Why? No, she just says that during things.
Oh god, now I can't get that mental image out of my head. Just Guardians of the Galaxy parody porn actors. Oh god. I genuinely can't get it out of my head. It's fucking stuck there now.
So now you have her saying, I don't even know what Cheers is. Drax going, do me.
Oh my god.
Groot, well, we know what Groot says. They have rockets line, just announcing what they're doing there. And Peter Quill, you guess it, it's going to look like a Jackson Pollock painting in here.
All right. Moving on.
So,
I feel like that right there, that is one for a greatest hits compilation.
One could say an awesome mix.
Oh man. Anyways, yes.
Okay. Anyway. So now, Rohit, you can text that to James Gunn.
Oh my god.
Put him on the text chain. See how he likes it. Okay, regardless, later days. I love the whole. He's making all the emoji faces, just how stupid, making fun of how stupid they are.
Oh,
that's great. All right, so then we have the violin fight.
Yes. The payoff to this, Dragon. The payoff to this is fucking poetry.
Absolutely. It's just, I love the timing on it too. Like where Susie, she walks in on everything and she finds out like the whole, like the scam.
I will say that's a little bit convenient, but it totally works. It's totally a we don't care.
Well, that's kind of, honestly, that's more like causing Susie's always there at the wrong time.
Right, yeah.
That's kind of, honestly, that's just, she's always around.
It's almost as close to a form. If they didn't have the setup of her, like, of the dropping off the food thing, it would be about as close to a fourth wall break as you could get, honestly. Just entirely breaking the logic. So yeah, she shows up and then, she's just like, everyone just get out. They gingerly put the violin back. I love how Larry is like mid-apology when the violin falls. That's what cracks me up about it the most.
Yep. I love the timing on that shatter, and we see it like not just fall or like kind of.
Oh, and you feel that break, man. You feel it.
I love that he's like strumming a few of the strings before he puts it.
Yeah. Just to make sure it's in working order still. Oh man, it's perfect. But then, of course, that does kind of solve the situation for both Freddy and Larry, as one would do with that kind of thing.
Yep. But honestly, this I thought was really nice where they're walking off and they've actually made up and they're, in all seriousness, you actually would be a good father. They call child services like 2 weeks. Like, I love seeing these guys have mended fences in a really nice way after really being like, like seeing Vince Vaughn like untap a little Norman Bates in that one scene, he's,
Yeah.
Funny, because a lot of people have forgotten by now, but Vince Vaughn at one point did play Norman Bates.
A lot of people do forget that.
Yeah. So I'm saying,
which ironically enough does have an infamous scene of him jacking off.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing it.
Very few things that wasn't shot by shot in that movie.
Yeah, just implied. It's implied in Bates Motel, but still. Yep. Anyway. So we go to it's Jeff. Okay, so Jeff he is now stuck in the worst flight of his life, and see, at least again it's probably separated on the plane, but still it'd be even worse. It'd be even worse if just like Susie just out of spite sent him alone to this convention. I don't think that happened. I think she's just like in a different like section of seating on the plane. But still, the fact that he's alone.
You're gonna take that fucking flight, Jeff.
No, Jeff, you're gonna go and you're gonna take notes for me and record with your phone.
I could see her sending him on the flight and just him having to take the next flight back just out of pure spite, honestly.
Yep. And also, plus like a layover and everything. So,
oh my god,
I could be wrong, but I think this is the first time in the season she drops the F-bomb, saying that fat, just like her, her using her big, her big catchphrase with him.
Yeah, Kogia. So Vince Vaughn does have a pretty prominent supporting role in, not until pretty late in Curb's run, but he is pretty prominent when he does show up. All right. So anything? Oh yeah, we have one more important thing, Dragon. A piece of artwork shows up in the Larry David residence.
Yes, so basically, Renee has dropped off the painting, which in hindsight, admittedly, this is where we get like a bit of a logic thing of like, why drop it off at Larry? It sounds like she wanted to show it to him beforehand, but even so, it's like, just,
Sorry.
Surely she would have shown him after the painting was complete in the first place, but even if there's a little bit of time, there's like, just take it to the museum. Like, let him show up early to see it if he wants to, I don't, it just feeling, why bring it to the house? Okay, then he's gonna have to lug it there anyway. It just feels kind of like an extra step we don't need just for plot purposes.
Yeah. You know what? I give it a we don't care. I don't know about you.
No.
We don't care.
You know what's funny about it though? It does bring back in this last season. It does feel maybe like a little bit of a nod to the pilot of Curb Enthusiasm, which the whole big payoff was that there was a cartoony caricature of Larry David hanging in like the auditorium. He was going to do stand up in that, but he's looked at it and he just left. Of like, okay, that's it. I'm out.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so. Anyway, so we go to the exhibit. This is basically the Weisenheimers exhibit at this museum or this art installation area. And this is nice. We see some tributes to some great comedians that have been on Curb. I forget if Gilbert Gottfried ever made an appearance on Curb. I don't think he did, but I could be wrong. I think I would have remembered it, so I don't think he was. But if he was, it was very brief. But anyway.
Just the shot of the Gilbert Gottfried portrait next to the Richard Lewis portrait.
Mm-hmm.
Just genuinely heartwarming stuff, man. I almost suggested that as the thumbnail, but I was like, nah.
I know.
I was have anything to do with the episode.
I was thinking about it too.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'll tell you two things. Okay, one, I love that before we get to those two, we see Albert Brooks.
yes.
I just want the nice painting of him. I just anytime we can work Albert Brooks into anything, I'm happy.
Low key, I would love to see this whole gallery, honestly.
I know, it sounds amazing. There's probably might be some Carl Reiner in there.
You gotta think that Mel Brooks made the cut, right? You gotta. He's gotta. He's like the king of the Jewish comedians.
But here's the question, though. Yes, comedian, but I don't know if he did a lot of stand-up, though. That's why I can't remember. Did Mel Brooks do stand-up?
No, I mean, that's true. He's not really a comedian in the traditional sense of the word.
So I don't know what the parameters are of this.
Comic legend.
Four paintings we see are all stand-ups as well as just comedians in general. So I don't know. Anywho, point being, we see them. But the other thing is that during the credits of the episode, special guest appearance by Richard Lewis.
Aw, that's super nice. That's super nice, dude.
Even as a painting, it's like plus they mentioned him in the spirit. It's interesting in this episode. They're still playing.
He is popping up next episode too. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't see the trailer?
Well, no, I try to avoid the trailer so I can go in fresh on some stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, he is in the trailer. Dragon, there's a big guest star, and I probably shouldn't tell you who it is, right? I don't think it's someone that you would geek out about, but it's certainly someone that I am geeking out about.
Is it another Survivor guest star on Curb?
No, it's not a Survivor guest star. Oh, I kind of want to tell you. Can I tell you?
Fine.
Conan O'Brien.
Nice.
Yeah, I cannot wait for Larry David to interact with Conan O'Brien. That seems like fucking Elvis meets the Beatles, dude. I can't wait for that.
This is actually kind of funny. Larry David's been doing talk shows, and the word on the street is like a lot of these talk show people have been like essentially tricked into cameos, or basically promised cameos that have been filmed, but they don't know if they're actually going to make it into the show.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's funny.
So I don't know if Conan, because he was on, I think he was on, he might have been on Conan's podcast recently or something. He showed he was in a conversation with Conan where the same thing, I believe, was brought up. It's like him and Seth Meyers. So it was a question, could Seth Meyers show up or was a scene cut? That's the thing.
Right.
Because Larry David's actually done. I linked you like the Seth Meyers gag, the writers' room.
That was glorious. That was fucking glorious. I loved every minute of that.
That's what I'm saying. So he's done like two of those for Seth Meyers before. So he likes Seth Meyers. So it'd be interesting to see if he shows up there. Anyway, But yeah, so Richard Lewis showing up in like painting form. We're suggesting that he's still around, and it sounds like we're going to see him again. So we're getting as much Richard Lewis as we can this season. So I did not expect that, and I'm very happy that that is the case. So it does make me retroactively feel stupid for saying this is the last time we're ever going to see Richard Lewis, but still, he's still around, you know.
Indeed.
Okay, so Larry. So anyway, so we go to Larry David's painting, and let's just say, in the literal sense, has been faced.
Oh man, it's honestly the visual gag is one of the few things in the episode that was maybe a little too much for me.
Yeah, it's a little much. Yeah, I do love just the reaction of Larry David and Renee, and as they walk right out, and they walk right out.
I will say another good place to cue the theme song for the credits would have been the wife pulling the string from the jacket.
Oh yeah, that was yeah, that was a great thing. Like right before he left, she just pulled the string, and he's like, "Yeah, okay," because ruined the antique violin. But you know what? I like the idea he's not gonna have to pay for that violin, so he sacrificed the string, so he didn't have to pay for the antique violin. So. And I mean, look, that was all the Grossbard's fault for one involving these two screw ups in this whole period.
That's very true. That's
people
true.
They barely knew. Okay, they put him on a text chain 3 a.m. and tasked him with
you know what? You know what's really fucking mind-boggling about that? Why can't this cousin or brother or whoever the fuck it was, why can't he look after Olivia? Like, why can't any of these fucking people on the text chain look after Olivia?
I'll tell you why.
They clearly care more about this family than Larry David does.
No. They care about the text chain, Tiki. They don't care about they don't give a crap about Stu until the funeral. Okay, they care about the text chain while.
Okay, you know what? That's a legitimately good point.
They care about him while he's dangling by a thread via a text chain. He's being hung by a text chain, essentially, or he's in the ground, or other. I don't know if they're gonna burn him or store him.
You know what? I stand corrected, bro.
There you go.
All right.
I
think that's about it. Any final thoughts?
Again, very, very solid episode. Only scene that didn't play for me was Funkhauser pulling the dream scheme, which is the namesake of the episode. It's the only gripe I have against it. Otherwise, very solid episode.
And honestly, some of the lines that Freddy has in that scene are pretty funny. It's just the actual the actual premise of the scene.
Yeah, it's just like the immediacy of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, big thanks to Code Geass and Little Blue for joining us in the chat. We will be back next week. Only 3 episodes remain, Dragon. Only 3 episodes. Oh boy. Although, folks, we do have we haven't officially. I don't think it's officially gotten the green light yet, like officially, but we do have something potentially planned for Curb Your Enthusiasm after the season's wrapped up. Potentially, if you guys want it. So. All right, final thoughts, Dragon, anything?
I think you already asked me.
I'm sorry, you're right. I totally did.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. See y'all later. Morty!
Downtown.